Boys and girls, welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan. I've got my co-pilot Shay here. Nope, not Shay. This one's Ren. Losing my mind. Daddy daycare duty today. So I don't know how long this stream is going to last. May end up being like a half-hour stream if someone doesn't want to cooperate. But we are going to do a little rocking and rolling, back and forth, talk a little bit about the Jets signings yesterday. The Jets got an offensive guard, left guard. The Jets got a defensive tackle. And we got a backup quarterback, not too shabby considering where fans were just 12 hours ago. Was it 12 hours ago at this point? Maybe a little bit longer ago. Jet fans were losing their damn mind yesterday that Joe Douglas hadn't made any moves. Any moves. And all of a sudden, in the flurry of night, the cover of darkness, Joe Douglas wheeling and dealing, signing some lower tier options, I think. Maybe not blowing the purse, as you would say. I think this is something that Jet fans are probably lukewarm on, right? Like, it's not the big names that you wanted to see. It's not, a bad signing necessarily, because these are all positions in need. Jets needed someone to fill in the holes for an Al Woods, for a Jefferson, for a Solomon Thomas, and you got someone with some high upside, former number 1 overall pick in Javon Kinlaw. Offensive line-wise, Jets need interior offensive line help. And guess what? You get John Simpson. Oh, Jay Simpson. I get it. We're excited. Maybe he has some potential upside. Now, I'm not going to lie. I looked at his Pro Football Focus scores like as soon as we signed him, and I was like, uh-oh, this is not really what I had in mind. This is not where I'm looking. But all things considered, I started looking a little bit deeper into him, feeling at least a little bit more confident with him competing with maybe a guard that we draft in the 3rd round, maybe a Zach Zinter, or a 4th round pick like a Zach Zinter if he falls that far. We'll see. I do like that. Young upside, 26 years old, both him and Kinlaw, 26 years old. Then on the opposite side of the spectrum, you got Tyrod Taylor, who's 150 years old. The Jets quarterback room right now averages like 38 years old between Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor. And look, this is a great option for the New York Jets. Tyrod Taylor, 28 and 1 in his NFL career, like basically backup quarterback material across the board. Does have some injury concerns. We'll get into that in a little bit. But obviously, the Jets get someone that has a higher floor, I think, than most people would agree with Zach Wilson at this particular point in time. We still have not seen the quarterback moved. So we're going to go through a whole bunch of stuff. I want to talk about the best possible players that are left out in free agency. As you can see here, I've got my offensive tackles and wide receivers listed. Those are kind of the 2 positions that I'm keying in on. There's probably going to be some other signings throughout the day, maybe at other positions that I'm not necessarily looking at. But I want to get into it. Let's go over. Let's see. I think I have this slide set up. Okay, so these are the best available tackles at this point. Let's go through some of the signings from yesterday. Let's see if I could do this while I am babied up here. Boom, John Simpson. 6'4", 330-pound left guard from the Baltimore Ravens. 26 years old, was the 4th round pick of the Las Vegas Raiders. How are we feeling on this? You guys can actually vote in the poll question, too. I do have a poll question up. Offensive tackle or wide receiver, is there a preference on which position you would like the Jets to attack today? I do want to hear that from you guys as well. How you doing down there? The big thing with Simpson has been the penalties. This has been an issue throughout the course of last year. Now, I will say this, the majority of them were holding penalties, which doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, but with a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, I feel like there is some degree of holding that ultimately ends up happening that could be deemed the fault of the quarterback as well. And I'd have to go back and watch every snap and every penalty to actually know if that was the case, but maybe that provides a little bit of context. We've seen a lot of offensive holding penalties from teams like Denver or Seattle with Russell Wilson, or the Jets with Zach Wilson holding onto the ball too long. So it would stand to reason that maybe some of these are stemming from that. I would argue with Aaron Rodgers under center, the ball's going to come out so much quicker, you're not going to have to rely on needing to hold your defender for any significant amount of time. So I think that's something to maybe consider there. He only gave up 1 sack in his 1,200 snaps. Now, you could say that's because he held or because he, had Lamar Jackson behind him, MVP quarterback, able to escape out of a phone booth. Very, very tough to tackle. 31 pressures. He was 19th in the NFL in terms of guards last year on pressure percentage. And he was number 32 overall on NFL's top 100. So, look, if the NFL's saying this guy's pretty decent, who are we to be throwing stones? Clearly, our first day free agent moves generally don't work out for us. But on the lower end of the spectrum for what would this guy sign for? I don't know. Do we know this one? I think this one was this was the $9 million year. Actually, both him and Tyrod were both 2 years, $18 million. It's like they're like, oh, crap, we just got to get shit done. Just copy and paste the contract. Just copy and paste the contract. That's what we got. That's okay. We'll take it. On the other side of things, we've got. Am I clicking on the right thing? I'm not clicking on the right thing. Come on, Ryan. Javon Kinlaw, 6'5", defensive tackle, number 14 overall pick in the 2020 draft. 26 years old. Robert Saleh connection. Can this staff get the best out of this particular set of people? Players. On the defensive side of the ball, we've done a pretty decent job at doing that. It's been pretty consistent as far as our production on that side of the line of scrimmage. Best games, Rams, Giants, Cowboys, Packers. Look, he's been injured. That's been the big thing. They declined his fifth-year option. There's high upside with this type of signing. I don't know what his contract was. I haven't seen it. If you guys see what the contract actually is, let me know in the comment section because I feel like that's probably kind of important. But if he's getting like, say like a 1 year, whoops, sorry. Booping you with the microphone. If he's getting like a 1 year, I don't know, what'd you call it? $4 million deal? $5 million deal? Or is it going to be more than that? I hope it's not more than that. We'll see. We'll see. 4 penalties per Pro Football Focus last year. Only had 544 snaps. So not a crazy ton of playing time. Obviously, they're going to be focusing on a defensive rotation as well as the New York Jets. So maybe this is about how many snaps he'll actually get with our team as well. 4 sacks, 35 pressures, rotational piece. Fills in maybe for a Solomon Thomas. Basically a copy and paste move from a Solomon Thomas, if I do say so myself, because this is one of those situations where you have a highly drafted 49ers player. Want to take that hat off, kid? I'll take the hat off. I'm actually sweating balls in this hat right now. So, how are we feeling on Javon Kinlaw? You guys can let me know that. And then, on the quarterback side of things, I really wish I should have set this up to my foot pedal. I did not do that. Come on, Dad. Get yourself in the game. Tyrod Taylor. New York Jets knocked him out of the Jet-Giant game last year. His best games, Bills, Eagles, Rams, Commanders. He's showing up in division rival games. I like that. He shows up against teams that he used to play. He used to play for the Bills. We play them twice a year. Let's do it. Let's get it. Worst games, 49ers, Dolphins, Jets, Saints. Those are top-level defenses. You're not expecting your backup quarterback to really go out and win you games as opposed to maybe not lose you games. I want high floor with our not offensive tackles, but our high floor with our backup quarterback. I want someone who can turn around and hand the ball off to a Breece Hall. I want someone who could dink and dunk their way down the field to a Garrett Wilson, to a Conklin. And I think that's what we got with Tyrod. Career, 28-1 record. Obviously not a bad thing for a backup quarterback. There's a lot worse ways we could go. Heck, if Zach Wilson was our backup quarterback, we'd have 7 wins? Or no, I guess we'd have more than that. Actually, I don't even know if we'd have more than that. Wait, his career record, I don't even know what it is at this point. I don't care. Career touchdown to interception ratio, 2-1. Can't ask for more than that, right? I mean, coming from where we were, I don't want the bar to be Zach Wilson, but that's honestly the bar that we had. And Brissett goes to New England. You got Minshew going to the Raiders. Neither option was going to be realistic for the New York Jets. The Jets are not able to offer them starting caliber reps, starting caliber opportunities where they could further their careers. Now, obviously, both those teams are probably going to be drafting a quarterback. Minshew was in that position last year, and then Brissett, to some degree, was in it last year as well with Hal down there in Washington. We'll see how long this will go. This stream may not last long. If you guys are watching the portrait version of this stream, there is a vertical version of this stream as well. You can kick on over to that side if you'd like to hop over here. If not, that's okay too. You can hang out in whichever side. But I'm probably only going to do this for like about a half hour because I feel nap time coming on. If I know my girl. So let's hop back over here. So what are our thoughts with these remaining offensive pieces that we could add to this team? Tackle, wide receiver. I would say 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐷𝐿 seems like the foregone conclusion that the New York Jets are going to bring in here at tackle. They brought in all of Aaron Rodgers' buddies, although Aaron Jones wound up going to the Minnesota Vikings. Not that I necessarily expected him to come to the Jets, because I don't think the Jets would have been the highest offer for him. He would have had to come here purely because he wanted to play with Aaron Rodgers and not care so much about the dollars and cents of it all. So, interesting for sure. Look, 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐷𝐿, I think in a vacuum scares me because he's only played 13, 14 games in the last 3 years. But when you're looking at it, you know, hey, if your emergency plan is Alijah Vera-Tucker at one of the tackles, because you want to start him at guard. Because for me right now, the way everything's shaping up, I would very much like to go with tackle at 10 and a veteran guard like a Tyron Smith or a 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐷𝐿. Give me someone that has top 5 tackle potential with the ability to maybe stay healthy. Maybe the Jets get some value out of this. And I'm fine with paying them guaranteed money if they are healthy and starting games. That's what it has to be. But it has to be incentive laden. You can't just sign 𝐂𝐟𝐼𝐥𝐢𝐷𝐿 to like a $15 million a year contract or a $10 million a year contract even. Like sign him for the vet minimum and say, look, every game you start, you're going to get starting caliber top 5 tackle money. Maybe that's what you do. You're just saying like, hey, look, at the end of the season, you're going to get, I don't know, call it $20 million if you play every game and you're healthy every game. Because honestly, if he plays every game, I think we're going to get $20 million worth of value out of the guy. Now you could shift the cap hits around, and I'm not saying to pay him outright that much money. Vet minimum with incentives. Tyron Smith, basically the same thing. I would go with the same argument. And let's say, I shouldn't say $20 million, but let's say it's like, $15 million is the cap on this contract. As far as Trent Brown, Jonah Williams, left tackle, right tackle flexibility, those guys are interesting to me. I feel like that would probably be a route the Jets go if they're not sure exactly who they want to take at 10, because they might decide left tackle, they might decide right tackle, and that gives you at least some positional flexibility, but neither guy is really that good. They both have warts. You have Jonah Williams, who's given up a bunch of sacks. You have Trent Brown, who's missed a bunch of games. So you're kind of like, do you want to go with slightly more skill maybe in a Trent Brown or slightly more available in Jonah Williams? I'd probably err on the side of a Jonah Williams because I thought he did all right at right tackle. And without Joe Burrow there for most of the season, maybe there was some degree of backup quarterback oopsies that kind of happened. But maybe he could do a little bit better with an Aaron Rodgers here. Let's see. I don't know, is my microphone the thing that's focusing on? As far as like Donovan Smith and Leno Jr., I do not want either one of those guys. Donovan Smith, Jet fans might be excited about the idea of adding a former fan that has been vocal as recent as the playoffs that he would like to come to the New York Jets and play for the New York Jets. That is backup tackle for me. That is not someone that I would be looking to have on the starting lines or even. Honestly, I don't even want him in a backup role because I like what we have in Carter Warren. I like the maybe potential of a Donovan, of a Max Mitchell on the right-hand side. So maybe there's a situation where they bring in an additional backup or a swing tackle or something like that. I would tend to think it's our 2 guys plus AVT plus a vet plus whoever's coming in at 10. Those will be the tackles. As far as wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, I'm surprised he didn't go yesterday. I really am. I would have thought he would have been, maybe not one of the first to sign, but would have heard his name drop at some point during the day. Now, we didn't see this happen over the course of this morning, as far as I know. The Jets yesterday, I think, were the 3rd best odds. I think they were saying Atlanta had the best odds, then the Chiefs, then the Jets in terms of signing him according to BetUS. So maybe something to consider there. Tyler Boyd, I like Tyler Boyd the most. If you could give me one of these wide receivers right here, I think Tyler Boyd is probably it. Curtis Samuel might be the other one. Hometown guy from Brooklyn, provides you a slot wide receiver, pushes Gibson a little bit further down the depth chart, but I think is a better replacement for Cobb than maybe bringing Cobb back. And then Hollywood Brown, Darnell Mooney, all these receivers provide some degree of excitement. And I think it depends on cost for me, maybe more so than skill set at this point. And I don't really want to overpay for Ridley. Boyd, I still feel like is going to end up as a Steeler. You dropped your pass. I'm not even going to be able to get that now. All right, we're going to rock and roll here. Let you hold on to this. Hold that? No? Okay. We'll just bounce. We'll bounce. Hollywood Brown, Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is like a burner over the top. Low cost, probably, realistically. I probably could have thrown DJ Moore on there for his connection with our wide receiver coach with their time in Carolina this past year. That would be someone I'd like maybe a low cost, high upside. But I don't know how much better he is than like a Lazard at this point in time. Maybe you just hope that Lazard's going to be better and you want to sign someone that complements all of them and then you draft someone in the third. I don't know. I'm interested to see what they end up doing here. Let's see. I'm going to try and just see if I can answer some questions here. I don't know if I'll be able to see this. I have this up on like a little monitor over here so I can see everything. The computer's down here, but the comments are a little bit lower. I don't know if I'll be able to get it. But let's see. You know what? I might be able to do this. We'll see how this goes. All right. I see Higgins is going to cost us right now. Yeah, look. You got to pay to play. That's part of the whole deal here. All right. Hey, kid. We might not be making it too much longer. I see Joe Mixon comments in there. I don't think I have my, let me see. All right, we're going past it. Got it? All right. Let's see what we got going on here. This is not easy standing up. Here I thought I was going to be doing something nice and simple. I see Mixon is a great compliment. I want someone who's a little bit more of a thumper than Mixon. I don't dislike the player from a skill perspective. Not particularly the greatest of people, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Jeffrey says, give me Smith or Bakhtiari and a Boyd plus either a Samuel or Mooney. So, yeah, you get the veteran left tackle. And then, well, yeah, you're looking for two wide receivers. Getting greedy here. I don't dislike it, but I would very much like to, I'd like to see one wide receiver in the draft and one wide receiver in free agency. I don't think I want to go both there. Where did you drop that passing now? What are you doing, kid? You want to come out of the strap? We'll come out of the strap for a little bit. See if we can last a little bit longer. Huh? Had Becca home with me yesterday. I was able to do a whole bunch of stuff. All right. Here we go. J-Boy comes in with a super chat. Thank you so much. He says 2025 first for T. Higgins, all in, worth it for a Super Bowl. I would, before we try for a T. Higgins, I would really prefer to try for a Brandon Ayuk. Now, if you get T. Higgins, are the Bengals willing to trade him for a 2025 first? I feel like they want to go all in this year because their window is going to slam shut. Or maybe not slam shut, but probably get a little more difficult to compete with a Jamar Chase and a Joe Burrow signing. So I feel like they're more likely to hold on to him for a season. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong there. I see some of you guys calling in. I'm not going to be taking calls today just because of the chaos that is going on in my arms right now. Feel free to chime in with whatever thoughts you have on free agency, Rennie. Anthony D says, love it. Javon is exactly what we needed inside. It's nice because it's a high upside swing. It's not an overcommitment by any stretch of the imagination. Tony comes in and says, Ravens have 9 offensive linemen under contract, 8 of them homegrown. They have a top 10 offensive line. They really do. They really do. Now, I would have preferred maybe a Zeitler over a Simpson, but you're probably going for a high upside potential as opposed to maybe someone who's about to fall off at some point. It's just been consistent over the last few years, which is why I've liked Zeitler. So I don't love maybe that, but it's all right. Worst for Higgins, 10 for a year, but he will be perfect for Rodgers. Are you talking about trading number 10 for this year? You're out of your mind. I'm not trading number 10. See you guys saying so cute, so cute. Thank you, thank you. Alec clicked for the football, stayed for the baby, as it seems most people here did. Well, I hope I could provide you some degree of football knowledge as well. But I got her the little pilot hat, so I had to rock it out. Shay, the other one, is at school today, so we were hanging out. Fighter Jet says looks like she's about to pass out. She's definitely tired. You're fading, kid. So I might have to do a be right back. Maybe I'll put her in her sleep sack and I'll come back and I'll have a little bit more attention. We'll see where this goes. See if we can get her to conk out. Mixon and Brees combo would be sickle. It would. Ted Chan says, Jonah Williams with Simpson on the right side of the line, Tippmann at center, AVT for 2 games at left guard before he goes down, IR, then number 10 pick at left tackle. That just seems this is like a very sad way to look at this. No, Ted, I don't want you to say this. Don't manifest that. Let's see. Well, time to wait 12 hours for the next Jets signing. Yeah, see, they're actually, they didn't tell us, but they're actually on the other side of the planet. They're down in China right now, so the time is totally flip-flopped, and that's why we made moves at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night last night, so we're going to expect something similar today. And we thought it was a daylight savings time thing. Robert says, let's grab Zeitler, Boyd, and Morstead, and Whitehead. So I don't really want to bring Whitehead back. I like where our safeties are at right now. I'd prefer to bring back Ashton Davis instead of Whitehead. I mean, obviously, I want Morstead back. Morstead is a dark horse for like a sneaky jersey buy for me this year. Only he just never has the same number. I might do like a legacy jersey with the number 5 on it, so it looks like a Garrett Wilson from the front, but then I could throw a Morstead on the back, and it'd be kind of like funny that way. But yeah, I like Boyd, I like Zeitler. I'm on board. Do you think we can trade up for Harrison Jr.? I do not. I think it's going to be too far, and I don't think the Jets should be looking to give that much up. Kelly says, oh my God, look at that little one. Yeah, she's adorable. We're rocking out. We're having a little daddy-daughter golden doodle day, which I should probably open the door. Hey, Bali, you want to hang out with us? We'll see if Bali comes in with us. See if she'll grace us with her presence. Can your baby please play left tackle? We need all hands on deck to support a Super Bowl run. Rennie, you're going to have to really man up or lady up and become our left tackle. We'll call it lady tackle. Be perfect. We'll figure it out. Tony says, Ayuk leaves you $70 million in 2026 cap space for 10 starters. Not happening. Look, Ayuk is a long shot from happening, but a dude can dream. And look, I'll be honest, if I have to care about 2026 in 2026, well, that's fine too. We can figure it out. Good teams keep good players. Good teams get good players. I'm not concerned. Anthony says, I'm glad JD didn't jump the gun on day one. Overpay like a lot of teams did. This second wave is going to be far more bang for the buck. So definitely better bang for the buck. When you overpay the first day of free agency, or for premier players, I shouldn't say the first day of free agency, because I feel like when you get guys like a Tyrod Taylor, I feel like it's important to lock down, solid. Solid is a good lockdown. And as long as you're not overpaying for solid, that's fine. The top guys, like a Calvin Ridley, I feel like you're probably less likely to get your value out of a Calvin Ridley than you are to get, I think you're more likely to get value out of Boyd than you are out of a Calvin Ridley. So that's kind of where I would probably go on this. Roger says, okay, what about replacing Huff? What are your thoughts? So I feel like the Jets are going to have to add some type of edge rusher. I'm not necessarily convinced it's going to be via free agency. It might be something we do at some point, even later in the draft, because we do have obviously JJ and Will McDonald who are loading up the first round talent side of things on our defensive line. But then you have to worry about John Franklin Myers, who I think was in the last year of his contract this year. I'd like to, rework him, keep him around for a little bit longer. And then you have to, look outside of that. Like, where do you want to go? And I don't know if spending free agent dollars on that is necessarily the right move. Maybe someone that can develop like John Franklin Myers that we kind of scooped off the scrap heap. I don't think you can replace Huff, though, unfortunately. Not realistically. Tony says, Sauce, JJ, and Garrett Wilson come due in 2026. Yes, but when you sign a new contract, the money will be beyond that. So you can stretch that money out further with void years and everything. I'm not concerned the cap is going up each year. Let that be worry for future GM and future Ryan at some point in time. Young Freezy says, I want Ridley and Thomas as a third string. Michael Thomas would be an interesting add. He's got pretty good size, has underperformed, been injured, but obviously him with Rodgers would certainly look a lot better than the last few years. He seemed to have problems down in New Orleans. I'll be honest, I have not kept up on him much the last few years. So I could not say that one way or the other. Put her at left tackle, block him with the cuteness. See, yeah, Rennie, you're just gonna sit in your little rocker. You're tired. I can tell. All right, we'll do this for a little bit longer, and then we'll call it quits. What are we at? What's our time frame right now? All right, we're at 27-minute mark. We'll go for let's go till 30. We'll do a little 3-minute more action here, and then we'll go down for nap time, and then maybe we'll do something when something else breaks. How's that sound? All right. Frank says, why is Joe Douglas seem to always be late to the dance? He doesn't show any urgency or aggressiveness, hence his win-loss record. Look, I mean, some of the guys we've signed on day one of free agency haven't worked out. We signed Laken Tomlinson. Lazard was a day two signing. Jared Davis didn't work out. 𝐂𝐲 Uzomah didn't work out. Like, racing to get the first guy signed, to some degree works well. Like, I think Atlanta did well getting Kirk Cousins. I think that was a smart move. But I don't think it's smart for a lot of other teams that are going to be paying a crazy ton of money. You think the Panthers are going to get $20 million worth of value out of Robert Hunt? Get out of town. Get out of town. Not happening. Tim says, have the cap numbers been released, or do you have to wait until the tampering period is over? I heard about 2 years, $9 million for both Tyrod and Simpson. That's all I've heard about. I haven't seen anything for Kinlaw yet. I would be surprised if it was anything more than whatever Solomon Thomas was signed for. And I'll be honest, I don't know offhand what Solomon Thomas was signed for. Maybe he was, I'm predicting around $4 million in my mind. Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted Foley Fatukasi for, right? Like, Foley, I would have been on like a $3 or $4 million a year deal. We'll see. Weirdo comes in and says, am I crazy for thinking Will McDonald, John Franklin Myers, Quinnen, and JJ is a pretty solid group, especially with Kinlaw and keeping Jefferson all for rotation? I think that's a solid defensive line. I really do. Now, it's probably a little more solid if you have them as like starters or taking more reps. If you're going to have some of your best players playing 45, 50% of the snaps or 60% of the snaps, that's kind of silly. I would like to see, obviously, JJ, Quinnen, and hopefully it's probably going to be John Franklin Myers on early downs, and then you'll see McDonald on passing downs and whatnot. Would like to see more of them, though. Ducky says, you think Chop Robinson will be there in round 3? Should be a good future edge. He may not make it out of round 1. Chop Robinson has gone way up draft boards. I think his 40 time was what did that, right? He blew the doors off the 40. I think he's going to go second round. Cole says, definitely worried about what happens if both Rodgers and Tyrod get injured. It's not impossible. If that happens, ask any team what their third string quarterback option is, and if it's going to be a a non-impossible situation. Like last year was the year of the backup quarterback. We saw so many good backup quarterback performances, and we still saw 4 teams in the finals or in the semifinals this year. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We still saw 4 teams in the semifinals that all had their starting quarterbacks. Backup quarterbacks all got bounced basically round 1. So I don't know. We'll see where that all shakes out. I've got a little one that I've got to attend to. We're going to go down for a nap time. Boys and girls, leave your comments in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.